A new episode of the podcast, and I am joined by my lovely wife, Anna. Hello.
Hi. All I can think about now is making a face for the freeze frame.
Okay, for the what are they called? For YouTube.
Yeah, Brandon was talking about it.
Yeah, it is called the. I can't think of anything because you said freeze frame now.
That's
and
what
I
it
can
is,
say
though,
it's
right?
clip art. It's it's gonna drive me
It's
crazy.
your
Thumbnail.
thumbnail.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we're gonna do this. Is if you're listening to the podcast like the majority of people do, this is gonna be nothing to you. But if you're watching on our YouTube,
Okay.
you will get to see us making the thumbnail.
Okay,
face.
let's make
Do you
it.
have yours ready?
Yeah, I mean, it's supposed to be kind of off the cuff, right? But we're going to actually do one.
Yes. Don't tell me what you're gonna do though.
Okay.
You count us down. You go 3, 2, 1. Then we'll make our face.
You count us down.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Okay. So that will be our thumbnail. So that's good.
Can we try one
That's
more?
good.
And then
Okay.
you can choose?
One more. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, sorry. Can we try one more and then you can choose?
Yeah, you ready? 3, 2, 1. Okay. All right, we've got the thumbnail in. Okay. Hi.
Hello. Good afternoon.
It's been a little
Evening.
while. We actually went through some
Yeah.
of the things we want to talk about on the podcast tonight.
We did.
I will ask you first and foremost, is there anything you just need to get off your chest as like a Kelly's what are you into, or something that's been on your head that you just are dying to tell the people about?
I will say I have reached the finale of season 9 of Real Housewives of New York. So I'm heading into season 10 this week.
Jeez Louise, you flew through New York.
Yeah, I'm embarrassed.
Did you go through New York faster than Beverly Hills?
I don't know, but Beverly Hills only had 10 seasons. I
Okay.
mean, let's see. I started, I don't know the math.
What one do you think you like more?
Beverly Hills.
And New York's been good, though. It's not like it's been bad.
New York's been great.
Okay, well, I actually laughed out loud at part of it last night. I tuned in. I just catch little bits and pieces.
The dinner. Well, that Mexico trip was
my
hilarious. Luann fell in a bush. I mean, they went not even wine tasting, tequila tasting.
Some lady jumped in a pool naked.
Bethany.
It was just wild. I was laughing like this is hilarious.
It was quite the girls' trip.
It's I'm sure great if you're following, but I'll tell you, it's just an innocent bystander jumping in from time to time. It's really enjoyable.
Well, yeah, and you jumped in on an episode with a lot of nudity.
A lot of hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, Anna, here I've got a lot of things to talk about.
Oh, wow.
But I wanted to start with this first thing first because it happened to you, and I briefly touched on it on the podcast a while ago. But
Without me?
I just teased it because I thought you were coming up one of the next days.
Well, you should have asked.
Can you recap? That's true. Can you recap what happened to you at the Starbucks?
At the Starbucks.
Yes, in a awkward, pay it forward situation.
Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah, it has been a long time.
That's right. I mean, it's been a while.
Okay, so Sean and I have been implementing a budget, and we're doing a good job.
Yeah,
I feel like. I mean,
for sure.
we sometimes move some things around, but we, for the most part, do a good job. And one of the big things I've noticed for my personal discretionary budget is that I need to maybe stop going to Starbucks every day.
It's just hard to mix Starbucks in with a lot of other things.
Right. And so, between wanting my skincare and my, maybe some clothing, Starbucks it could stand to go.
It is funny how when you start doing the budget, you start to compartmentalize, okay, what are the things that are actually important to me?
Right.
And which ones aren't? And
Right.
like you said, Starbucks is your bottom of the barrel.
I know. Unfortunately, it is. So so there's a Starbucks right by his mom's house, and I drop Olivia off at his mom's house every week. So I was like, okay, I have just enough Starbucks points to pay for just a small coffee. So I go through and I get a black grande black coffee. So
because if you get this, you're paying $0 out of pocket.
right, so it's coming from my points, my
Huge.
stars or whatever.
Huge.
So, and I had just enough. So I order this black coffee. They're like, it'll be $2.66.
Okay.
So I'm like, great. So I go in.
Big spender at Starbucks.
Right. So I go up to the front, ready to, use my stars. And the lady's like, okay, it's the person in front of you actually paid for yours, which initially you would think, wow, that is amazing. But then you realize it's now on you to pay for the people behind you. So I was presented with a moral dilemma because upon asking, about the people behind me, she said it was like $15. Okay. Now, I get that I don't know. Could we afford to pay $15? Of course. But I was specifically getting a very small order so that I didn't have to use my money.
So you could pay $0.
So I could pay $0. It's like if I would have known the person in front of me was going to buy it, I would have gotten like a bacon, egg, and cheese.
This game becomes much different when you get your normal order, because your normal order is probably $6 to $8.
Not $8,
but it's probably between there.
Well, maybe I
you know,
guess
$6 to $8, a drink and the egg bites or whatever.
Pastry.
Yeah, pastry. And then if you're adding a couple extra bucks on it, you're not as bad of a mood. But when you're trying to make your budget,
right.
and so we're in this phase right now of being like, okay, how much do we spend? Like, what's our discretionary for this month? And when we're trying to balance that and figure it out, every little dollar ends up counting in these mathematical figuring out
Right.
moments. So that $15 is a lot.
So then I'm like talking to the lady who works at Starbucks, and I'm like, I mean, what do you think I should do? Like, I really was trying to like stay in my budget. Mine was only $2, and I ended up paying for it because I can't not. But looking back, now that I thought about it, you know what I should have done?
Okay, what's that?
Is paid the amount that I would have paid for my coffee.
Yes.
Or is that an a-hole thing?
Okay,
to
so
do?
here's the deal. Anna, we discussed this a little bit, and the consensus was to pay a partial amount is worse than not paying anything.
Okay.
So I'm glad you went the whole thing. The Widmers are going to be whole thing always.
It's just like so annoying because it's like, then what? That comes out of my discretionary. I didn't even want to spend that.
That's going to come out of like a church
It
tithe.
already came out of our discretionary.
I know,
Mine.
but it should come out of like we need to have that would come out of our joyful fund. We need to have a joyful line in there that just is for spreading the joy of the world.
I just felt bad because it was such a nice gesture, and I left feeling jaded and annoyed.
Yeah, it's a tough one to get yourself in because you do have to pay for it. But even on like a normal day, what's the penalty if let's say you were feeling normal and you weren't worried about the budget number, and you're, let's say, at Chick-fil-A, you get a number one and it's $8 to $10, but the car behind you pays $40. Like, I don't want to pay $40 for a family in a minivan behind me.
Right. And when does it stop? I mean, it's not like, I wonder if the people behind me paid for the people behind them.
Oh, and you better hope those people, if you're paying,
well, you
good
know
money,
they did, because the person behind
pay.
them probably had like a $3 order.
But if you're ordering a big thing and you don't pay for the car behind you, you are the worst kind of person. You are the person who shouldn't have to pay it forward. But a car that ordered a lot, they should always pay it forward, or they're bad people.
Yeah.
Because they're already going to spend $15 to $20.
You know what?
I feel like you're not tracking with that number.
Well, this is the key, is because I was thinking about this. In order to stop the person feeling like they have to do it as well, make it an actual great gesture, instead of just paying for the person behind you, you give Starbucks $50 and say, go until it's over. That way you don't say, oh, the person in front of you paid. You say, someone put this on like a $50 tab for the whole day. And then you don't feel like you have to pay for the person behind you.
I'm trying to think which I like more, though. I think I like to pay it forward, but I don't like the situation that happened to you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I feel like that is the best case scenario.
You need big time ballers to go through first and say, here's $1,000 for the day. Let it go until it's done.
I mean, even $10 would get a couple, maybe.
At Starbucks?
I don't know. Sometimes people are just going in by themselves. I'm just saying it doesn't have to be that. It could just be like, oh, someone gave us a lump sum this morning to use, and you fell into that. And
I will say this. If there is someone who puts $10 as the lump sum at Starbucks, they can get the heck out of here. Okay, Anna, we've had some openness in the state of Washington where things are starting to open back up.
Yeah.
And it has been awesome. And you and I have been able to, in the last couple of weeks, actually get out of the house and go do what I now believe is your favorite pastime over anything. We could say there's a concert of your favorite artist, a trip to Europe, blah, 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 all of this and that, a trip to the beach in Hawaii. But if one of the options was go out to eat, you would choose go out to eat.
I love going out to eat. I don't care where it is.
It's your favorite
thing ever. I don't
ever.
care if it's Taco Bell. I don't care. I don't care what it is.
So we've had
I love going to a restaurant.
2 experiences in the past couple of weeks where we got to go to a couple places here in town, a couple local establishments, and the glee, the joy on your face when we head out of the house and you say right when we get in the car, I don't have to clean. I don't have to clean anything up tonight.
That's all it is cleaning up the kitchen. I hate doing it, and Olivia is disgusting.
Part of that is you and your sister. I don't know where you get this. Is this from your dad or your mom?
My dad.
You guys don't clean a house. You are on hands and knees scrubbing the floorboard. You're scrubbing in between where the what is that part? The cracks in the wood flooring. Like you're in between the cracks, like on your hands and knees with your fingernail picking in between that.
That's cleaning.
It's crazy. So cleaning for you isn't just
I clean up, and honestly, I don't even like at night. I'm usually lazy. Like I leave more than I'm proud of.
So when we go out to eat, the house is going to be fine. So we've got 2 experiences to talk about.
Don't have to cook,
and we'll give it
don't have to clean. The house doesn't smell.
We'll give it a rating on what you thought of the 2 places. We went on a date to dinner, just the 2 of us, to Park Lodge, a place that we had gone before, and I had given low rating. But we went on a date, just the 2 of us. How'd you like it?
I loved it. Honestly, I give it a. I'm sorry.
Sorry, I had that. I
give it an 8 out of 10 only because they maybe were a little overwhelmed and our service was not great, but the service has always been really great there, and the lady was super nice. It was just a little slow, which was fine because we were just hanging. It was one of the first nights back. Probably more people came than they thought would come out.
If you didn't make a reservation the first 2 weeks Spokane opened back up, you weren't getting into a place. We had friends who were trying to get into restaurants for 2 weeks. Yeah. 2 weeks their reservations were full.
It was good though. Like the lady was really nice. I just think like they probably didn't expect that many people to come to the restaurant the first night, so she might have been overwhelmed. And I also think, maybe she just thought, oh, well, they're on a date. They just want to sit here for hours.
Well, the problem then with that is you're definitely going to lose money on drinks because you have to be, if you're a service, the second someone's drink gets low, you need to be there.
And that's what was her problem is like, she was like, oh, would you like another glass of wine? And I was like, yeah. And then like 30 minutes later, it hadn't come yet. It's like, well, just forget it.
Right. Exactly. So I will say though, I had low reviews on Park Lodge the last time we went.
Why were your initial reviews low?
There was not enough food. I left. If I ever leave a restaurant hungry, I feel like they have failed me. Like the place we just went to, the last place we went to, which we'll talk about in a second.
Full to the brim.
I left there feeling like I needed to go to bed when I left the restaurant.
Yeah.
Which is if I'm paying money for something, that's how I want to feel. And the last time we went to Park Lodge, I remember we went to ice cream later, and I thought, I want to get as many scoops of ice cream as possible because I am so hungry. The ice cream is going to be what I need to fill me up.
I do think you order sometimes incorrectly, and I need to be allowed to order for you.
So that's a fair thing, but I will say this. If you order an entree, so if it's on their entree thing, it better be enough food.
Yeah.
And I will say the one thing with Park Lodge this time, you ordered something that was filling, and I ordered something that if I had just had that, I would have been pissed off.
Yeah.
It was ravioli, stuffed ravioli. It was delicious, but there was five. Right. You gave me 5 stuffed ravioli for dinner? Get the heck out of here.
It was on like a long plate and laid out like in a line.
Yeah.
I think if they had given it to you in a bowl and stacked it, even if it was the same amount, it would have seemed bigger.
Well, here's the deal. The first thing we got was immaculate. Our appetizers were unbelievably
what did we get?
Good.
Hummus that you normally say you don't like, but you
remember
did
how
like
good it was?
Yes. And then what else? Didn't we get something? Oh, the shrimp and grits.
They have one of the best menu items I've ever had. That shrimp and grits was so good, we almost ordered a second one.
Yes.
Like, that's how good it was. And you don't normally like that because it was so spicy.
I still didn't eat very much of it because it was so spicy, but it was delicious.
Oh, my gosh. I just remember eating it and thinking, whoever cooked this needs to win an award.
The same person probably
who made the ravioli. That's what I was going to say. Like, it all comes back around. Like, they made one thing that I just, wasn't filling. But they turned around, and because you knew to get the shrimp and grits, it was like so good. And then they had the topper. They had some of the best drinks
I was going to ask
I've
you.
ever had.
Okay, so talk to me about the drinks.
Okay. We did a fun thing where you ordered my drink for me.
Yes.
You said, I'm going to order a drink for you.
It looked like a girly
It was a little girly drink. And
what was it? It was like
gosh.
cinnamon.
Yeah, it was cinnamon. Was it cinnamon rum and cinnamon?
I don't know.
It was a weird sounding
It was
combo.
called something like a car.
Okay.
Something car.
Oh my gosh.
Can't
It
remember.
was unbelievable. So the first drink was
You
so
had two
good.
of those.
And then we thought, well, let's try a different one. And I tried a gin-based drink, thinking, well, let's test their gin-based.
Because you were excited that it had absinthe in it.
Yes, and it was called like the Death Punch or something weird, like that, poison power. And I was like, that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
It was.
No, it's called something about a corpse.
Yes, corpse something. It was so good. And I mean, like, ridiculously good.
Which one was better?
The first one, the one you ordered.
The one I
But they were both so good. And so
the drinks 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10 drinks. Salud. Appetizers, 10 out of 10.
I don't have COVID.
Your steak was one of the greatest
so
steaks
good.
I've ever had in my life. But of course, and this is what my whole point was before you got all irritated by it. In regular Sean Widmer fashion, I ended up ordering the one thing on the menu that I probably wouldn't like. And I am notorious for that.
Yeah, I think, but I actually don't just think you are. I think men are, because all growing up, my mom would say that about, I was using you as a rest for my foot.
Oh, it was itching me.
Stop.
It was itching me.
My sock.
Yeah. It was right on my sock line. Anyways, your mom used to say what?
My mom used to always say that my dad always like orders the wrong thing at every restaurant we go to.
My dad does the same thing.
Right. It's like, it's men. It's like, don't get fancy. It's like you trying to get fancy with the absinthe drink. It's like,
But that was good.
well, I know,
was
but
so
at
good.
the end of the day, it's like you didn't even probably look at any of the other ingredients. Like it could have not been good.
No, I wanted a gin. Yeah, that one I wanted to try a gin drink. Because
Yeah.
I normally don't like gin drinks.
Well, that's why I didn't order you. The rest of them were gin drinks, so I didn't order you one, and an old fashioned.
And the first one hit so well. And the bartender was like so confident. We talked to him for a second, and he was so confident, and I thought, this guy's going to bring the heat with a gin drink. I just have a feeling he's going to
I'm
break
glad that
the
you
mold.
liked it.
And he did. He busted the mold
Because I
wide
think
open.
gin is a little bit like vodka, right? Where you can kind of mix it with a lot of stuff
Yes.
and
yes.
can't really like taste it.
Because you can have just gin, and I do not like the taste of just gin.
No,
But then,
kind
Anna,
of like
we'll have
Christmas.
a martini that's a gin martini, and you won't taste that weird taste of the Christmas, the evergreen
Yeah.
taste. And we're like, this is a great martini.
Yeah, I mean, I prefer Tito's always.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, gin, I think you can kind of mix with
So
anything.
I'm going to say, we left Park Lodge, and I will say, I'll be back. I will be back.
Well, they're not going to let us back in
Why
now
not?
because of now.
Because why?
I don't know. I just feel like
We have dollars.
people. I don't know. Maybe it seemed like a mixed review from you.
No, I would go back.
I'm
in
obsessed.
A second.
I'm obsessed with it. I bring anyone who visits. I bring them to Park Lodge. It's great in the summer, outside, the nice sunset.
It's also an amazing ambiance.
Great
for
ambiance.
Date night,
yes.
an amazing ambiance.
Yes,
I'm in.
lots of wine.
They flipped me, and I had knocked them the first time I went. I didn't like them, and then I went the second time, and I loved it. So great experience.
Haven't we been more than? I mean, I know I've been more than once because I've been with like my mom. But didn't you went one time with my mom, my sisters?
And that was it.
And that was it.
Yep. that
Okay,
was
so
it.
I brought my mom back a different time, and then
And Miranda.
Miranda. Okay.
So I'm in Park Lodge. 2 thumbs up. Date night place
And the steak frites.
was
Is
unbelievable.
that how you say it?
Yeah, it was so good.
Okay.
It was
so good.
It was so good.
No, I left feeling like I needed to throw up
Yeah.
because I had so much. Well, I had a lot of wine, but also steak.
We also the appetizer was huge for filling up.
Oh
up.
yeah, and we
For filling
didn't,
up.
and it wasn't like veggies and hummus. It was pita, but it was warm. Oh, that was good.
Now the second place we went is unfair because it's unfair to compare a fancy restaurant to a good old fashioned Mexican restaurant.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about the
when-
other place that we went.
Which one was that? Oh, I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to give a shout out real quick to one of the last places we went to, which was DeLeons.
I
on the
had
South
never
Hill.
been there.
And again, Mexican food, you know you're going to leave full.
Well, that's because you don't before you even have your meal, you're full because you sit down and like I don't know if this is just us or if this is everyone, but like keep the chips coming until I literally am dead.
You know,
I will never say no to like, do you need more chips?
okay, I was surprised about something. DeLeons brought us more chips. Did you know a lot of the places are now charging for the second basket?
No, you're
on?
lying.
Dead serious.
What
And
places?
For a while, DeLeons was one of them. So one of the last times I went, you had to pay for a second basket, and a lot of places are doing that, but they brought the second one out for free.
Was it free? Did you look?
It was. I looked at the receipt.
I would die.
Yeah. So, and that's not, I don't think that's normal anymore, which is so sad.
Oh,
so
my
sad.
gosh.
And I think it's because people like us will go there and just get margaritas and then eat their chips.
Yeah, but so
I know
margaritas are expensive.
Well, they were great. I don't think we need to say a whole lot about it because it was Mexican food that was dang good.
It was so good. I will say this: number one, the margarita that you got looked really good.
Oh my gosh!
And it was huge.
Cilantro jalapeno.
Number two, they offered a fajita bowl, which I feel like you don't find at a ton of Mexican restaurants, right?
Yeah, that's a good point.
It was good. It was a fajita bowl, so it was like beans, rice, avocado, fajita chicken, like it was good. Lettuce. Like people offer like taco salads and stuff, but this was a fajita bowl. It's like everything I've ever wanted.
Yeah, now that you say it,
that's rare,
the
right?
The only place I think of it at is a Chipotle.
Right, that's like like a burrito bowl, but it's a fajita bowl.
I don't think of it at any. Yeah, that's a good point. That was a great menu.
And it was delicious, so I was very happy with it.
Huge menu for them, so they were
Olivia had a great little
so we had
cheese quesadilla.
Yes. So we had Park Lodge, 2 thumbs up.
Yeah.
DeLeons, 2 thumbs up. And then the last place we went in the last couple of weeks, we went to breakfast to South Hill Grill.
Our fave.
Now, I will tell you going in, this is my favorite restaurant in Spokane. I don't all the way know why. I think I love you said it today. I love the ambiance.
You like the idea. Like their food is delicious and everything about it is good. But like you like the ambiance, the idea of it's like he wants people to know him. Like this old man walked in when we were having breakfast, and they were all like, "Hey, Frank," and Sean was like, "That's what I want in a restaurant, like where you come in and it's like there's a couple people there you could tell came often for breakfast, and it was just it's nice. It's like a little cute,
neighborhood restaurant,
and the people that work there are." Hands down the nicest people in Spokane. Like as far as like out of all the restaurants, I have never experienced anyone that doesn't like wow me with their niceness there.
That's a good point.
I'm not super friendly.
We haven't had a bad server there. You're right about
Never.
that. Yeah, and I'm with you. When that Frank guy was there and they said his name, it's like your dad at Harry's in Lexington. There's a restaurant that's really close to Anna's parents, and Jay and Lisa go there a lot.
Every night.
Where the people who work there know who they are, and it's like, oh, what's up, Jay? What's up, Lisa? And they know where they want to sit.
Oh, yeah, they have a special table.
Jay here, who I work with, has that at a Mexican restaurant in the valley.
We went.
They go Friday nights, and the owners, remember we went with them, and the owners were like, we'll even stay up open. We'll stay up late for you guys. Stay open late for you guys. Because you become the regular there. And you're right. I love that idea.
Is that going to be South Hill Grill for us?
I really hope so, because they really dig it. They have good food, I feel like.
Great food, lots of food, so you didn't leave hungry.
And the other thing was, it was breakfast. And I'm normally anti-breakfast.
And, well, yeah, but I think you're anti-breakfast, but you like sweet breakfast.
I do. Now, do you want to tell the people the reason we're bringing up South Hill Grill? There's one reason.
Well,
you enjoyed your omelet.
I would like to say, oh, no, okay, what?
You enjoyed your omelet.
Yes.
I enjoyed my pancakes.
Yes.
But that was not the story of South Hill Grill.
No, it wasn't.
It was not the story at all, because we learned something at South Hill Grill.
Olivia Widmer is a bottomless pit.
I mean, almost embarrassingly.
No, literally, the lady was like, oh, she's a good eater. And I was like, I'm actually shocked. They made her, first of all, a Mickey-shaped pancake, which I'm not sure if they could have hit the nail on the head any harder. I mean, it was like, that's like everything she's ever wanted.
It was the size of a human head.
Yeah, it was a huge pancake.
Yeah.
So we cut that up. And then it was, what would you say, 1 or 2 scrambled eggs? Do you think it was 1 or 2?
Yeah, it's probably 2 scrambled eggs.
2 scrambled eggs, and should I not have stopped?
No, that's my fault.
2 scrambled eggs and a sausage patty. Was it just one patty or two? You cut it up.
It was one patty, one
Okay.
big like
One
hockey
huge,
puck.
yeah. And she ate the entire plate. I'm not joking. She started eating and she wasn't even done eating. Like, she ate and ate and ate and ate and ate until everything was gone.
And I will say, when we go to dinner places, she does not eat like that.
No, it
she
was
gets
breakfast.
bored and she throws stuff and it's
Yeah.
embarrassing. When she apparently goes out to breakfast, girlfriend is going to eat everything in sight.
Do you know that my mom said that when I was little, I would only eat breakfast and she couldn't get me to eat anything else the rest of the day. I would just eat like massive breakfast. And that's maybe going to be Olivia, which I'm fine with because I'll do that too.
I love it. Hey, here's the deal. The thing I love about it, and I already foresee, you love breakfast, she loves breakfast. That will be a very fun bonding thing for the girls.
Yes.
Right? Saturday morning, go get breakfast. I think that will be good relationship building because, again, your mom has said that a lot of Olivia reminds her of you. So there could be some need for bonding leading up to that point.
Yeah, it's not going to be great.
I don't know. She's so cool.
She had a big time, though, at South Hill Grill. I mean, it was actually cute. Like, she was just, like, loving life, loving all the food, just living it up. So I was very pleased.
So we've had 3 places we've been to. All of them home runs. We
all of
recommend
them,
all of them.
I felt safe. I really did.
Yeah, they did do a good job. And all 3 of them, they did do a good job. At Park Lodge, they had the barriers. So they had the barrier in between booths. We were in a booth. They had the barrier behind me to the booth.
Did? I don't
Yeah,
even
they did.
remember
They
that.
had like a barrier that lifted up about 3 feet off the table. Which was,
Wait. Did you need to talk about something in Park Lodge?
Anna, do you see it right there? That was my closing. That was gonna be my closing comment. That was gonna be my closing comment. Okay, so Park Lodge, great barriers, and
Yes.
they had the tables separated real far. So
Yeah.
where normally they would have a couple tables, they had one table.
Yeah. Everyone
Um,
was pretty far away.
So then they had that at
And Park Lodge is just big.
DeLeons. That's the other thing. DeLeons, like Park Lodge, really big space.
Yeah.
So really easy to spread people out. And then South Hill Grill, they also had dividers up again. They have the big dividers
Yeah.
between the booths, and they
had only a couple tables out. Yeah.
and they're pushed far away. So, which sucks for the restaurants because obviously they can't fill them up as much, which is why it's really hard to find a table at a restaurant right now.
On the booth it said there was a maximum amount of time.
I did
you
like
could be
that.
there. I mean, yeah.
It makes sense.
It wasn't like we weren't like rushed or anything, but
I get it though. They've got to make. I mean, if they're not going to be able to fill it up, they've got to be able to make their money by turnover.
Right.
So that's fair. I don't have a problem with that.
No.
Now we are at. I'm going to let you tell a story because we're at Park Lodge, which
I'll
again,
tell
for
it.
people who haven't gone there yet, it's a really nice
let me
restaurant.
you be
And
quiet.
Can I give one more compliment to Park Lodge?
Sure.
Their prices for their appetizers, I thought were going to be in the 30s and 40s of dollars. They're all in the 20s.
Yeah, they're appetizers.
Well, the dinner, I mean. Sorry, the entrees. Sorry, I
Oh,
said the wrong thing. Entrees. I thought the entrees were going to be $40.
Yeah, no, they
And
weren't
were
bad.
like $22.
Yeah.
Which is a huge shout out. But really fancy restaurant.
It's a nice restaurant, dark. People are there, it's nice. Like, you're not just like going probably on like a whim of like, oh, let's just go grab dinner. It's like most people probably made a reservation, like it's a date, or like that one couple kind of looked like they were meeting their son's girlfriend, remember? Like, I don't know. We were just kind of like
Something weird was happening.
Yeah,
there.
something we couldn't figure it out. But anyways, it just everyone is very buttoned up. Like,
Yeah, Blake
it's
Stepp was there.
nice. Like, oh my gosh. Sean saw a Gonzaga player and was more excited that he was there than me. But that's neither here nor there. So we are sitting there enjoying, like, I like dressed up, I put makeup on, like I'm having wine, like Sean and we're actually having a great time. We were giggling.
It was needed.
Yeah, it was. So, but again, it's like, the people around us are, enjoying a nice dinner. Everyone's dressed up, whatever. And I kid you not, Sean Widmer at a booth, okay? Luckily, there was no one sharing the booth seat. It's like there was no one, like there was a booth behind us that would have shared the wall with Sean, but no one was sitting in it. He was looking at me, and there was like a drop in the conversation. It was quiet, and he leaned over and ripped the loudest fart for a long time and sat back up. And truly, I believe that it is a product of him not having been in a restaurant for so long. He was so embarrassed. It's like he thought he was at home.
We were having.
It was so loud.
Like, it's why our server probably didn't come back to our table. I don't blame her. We were having such a fun time. Like, just hamming it up. We were laughing. We were telling stories. We were loving life.
Away.
And I just got so caught up in we've been at home for a year, so why wouldn't we always just be at home? I was just like, got a fart. Let's go.
He truly forgot where he was. And he like pushed out a loud, ripped ass.
I was mortified.
You should be.
Mortified. I looked up at you and I thought,
like,
what just happened?
Listen, if you're gonna fart so loud, don't lean over so that everyone knows it's you.
No, it was just the most comfortable moment of my life.
It turned uncomfortable.
Turned extremely uncomfortable. So we are sorry for that. I'm sorry for burning. I'm sorry for burning.
I did not do anything wrong.
I'm sorry for burning a hole in the booth chair there. They probably had to replace it.
You owe me an apology.
No, I don't owe you, and I don't owe you anything. It added to our night. It added to the fun of the night.
It did make me laugh.
Yeah, it's what we were there. It's what we were there for.
It's also foul.
It was so foul. It was so foul. Thank goodness it didn't stink.
That, I guess, now that I think about it, I don't think it did stink, but it sounded like,
it sounded
ones
like
that have so much air usually don't stink because it sounded like it was all air.
So, okay, so there is a catch up on our last 3 places we've gone to eat. We've been successful 3 in a row. So if you have a suggestion,
someone tell us where to go next.
Yeah, we're trying to stay local. We're trying to do the local thing to support the local businesses as they get through the crap.
Preferably, like, we need to know kid friendly. Ooh, you know what I want to know from Spokane?
What's that?
Where do kids eat free?
Anna is trying to put a list together of where you can get either free or do they have a kids deal, anything like that at any places, just because, I mean, I will say this, some of the places we've gone to, the kids' meals are cheaper, but they're still like $6-7.
Right, like tonight it was $8.
Yeah, so Olivia at dinner doesn't eat $8 worth of food.
No.
In the morning, apparently she eats $100 worth.
I would have paid $30 for her meal this morning.
If there's a kids eat for free breakfast place, we probably aren't invited.
You know what we need?
Because I'll fart there and Olivia will eat them out of their food.
Okay, is there a Frisch's here? You know I love Frisch's.
Frisch's? What's Frisch's?
Frisch's is so good, and they have them in Kentucky and, like, I don't know, I guess surrounding areas. They have a
Frisch's.
Frisch's Big Boy.
I don't know what that is.
They have a breakfast buffet that's so good, but everyone in my family thinks it's disgusting except me and my dad.
That's where you went. That's where you went.
So I will never forget. I went to Kentucky because my grandma was sick, and I did the overnight flight. So I got there super early in the morning. My dad took me to go see my grandma at the hospital, and then I left. And my dad was like, let's go to Frisch's. And I was like, absolutely.
Because you two are 2 peas in a pod.
Oh, yeah. So we went to the Frisch's buffet. And, like, I kid you not, we hadn't been, like, since I was in high school. Like, it had been, like 15 years. And I'm not kidding you. We went. And the next day, it came out that one of the, no, I was pregnant.
You were pregnant.
Was I pregnant?
Yes, you were.
No, that's not right.
Yeah, you were
because when Granny was sick was when we were getting married.
Oh, you're right. It was.
So
it was. You're right.
Literally the next day,
you're right.
The news broke out in the newspapers, and it said that one of the
it was right before we got married, which is why you were worried about
it. At Frisch's had what? Hepatitis C?
Something bad.
Something It was so gross.
But here's the deal.
And my dad and I had just gone ham at the buffet.
But and Casey and Kara, sorry if I offend you here, but it's why you're your dad's favorite.
Oh, they know I'm
his favorite. Because you are the one of the whole family who at any moment, if he wants to just go dive into a buffet at a place where you can get Hep C, you're going to say, I'll see you there, Dad.
I would go
back
out. I would go back to Frisch's right now, Hep C or not.
Like, everyone else in your family is going to say, well, we probably need to make a wiser decision on this eating place, considering
Never.
we can get a buffet at Hep C. And so everyone's thinking about it, and then we look for your father, and he's already gone in the truck, and you've already taken the rental car, and you're both already there sending us selfies, going, "Oh, here we are
It's
eating
so
French
good.
toast."
Honestly, that's what we need here. Is a nice breakfast buffet that's not at a hotel.
Well, let us know if you've got one. All right, there it was. Anna's back with her food review. 3 great restaurants to go try out.
And 4, if you're ever by a Frisch's Big Boy.
Do you need to say anything to the people before we leave? Don't do it. What is this, Park Lodge?